Today, I invite you to celebrate with me and pay tribute to our quiet heroes, those individuals and families who provide our donor support for the Montefiore family. They provide support so we can live our mission of providing comprehensive services to our aging community and realize our vision to be the center of excellence in the care and services we provide. On behalf of our residents, families, and staff, we say thank you and are grateful for their gifts that support programs, services, education, capital, and spiritual needs. Please listen to their stories as they share with you what has inspired them.
It was a New Year's Eve day. My husband had been visiting Montefiore, and he came home and he said to me, "It's so sad seeing all those people just sitting around, nothing to look forward to. Why don't we give a party?" I said, "That's a great idea." So we went out and we bought a lot of hors d'oeuvres, and we came back and went to a little back room and set up some trays, and we came in and we got a fellow to play the piano, and we sang songs. Everybody had a wonderful time. When you see how happy the people are and how much of a good time they're having, it makes you feel very good that you can provide this for them.
Well, you know, we obviously have a significant responsibility to our parents and our elderly, and this, of course, institution, Montefiore, has been very instrumental in that, in the service of the elderly for generations now. And it's awful nice to be able to put a little bit of joy into the process. You know, it's not the most pleasant process in many cases, and yet we, I think, have a significant opportunity and obligation to take care of those who came before us.
I started the Mack Family Endowment Fund probably 15, 20 years ago, and prior to using the fund for the Temple to You program, the fund was used for general programming here at Montefiore, and some of the funds still are used for that. But the main purpose of that fund today is for the continuation of the Temple to You program between the Temple Tifereth Israel and Montefiore. And since it's been so successful, it's really mushroomed into providing funds for other synagogues, Fairmont Temple, B'nai Yeshurun, and it makes me feel good that what we started has now been able to connect members and clergy from a variety of synagogues. With really a fairly nominal commitment, you can really make a difference.
About 7 years ago, as my husband and I were approaching our 35th wedding anniversary, he said to me one evening, "Honey, what would you like to have for your anniversary? It's our 35th. Do you need a new watch? Would you like a new pair of earrings?" And I raised my hands as if to push him away and said, "None of the aforementioned above." I said, "I think this 35th anniversary of ours should be considered payback time. We've been very fortunate in our lives. We've had a wonderful 35 years together, and I think it's time for us to distribute some money." "Okay," he said, "where would you like to do it?" I said, "Well, we hadn't given it much thought, and I in particular, since I brought it up, hadn't given it much thought. However, 16 years ago, my father died at Montefiore. He spent the last week of his life in hospice, and I was so impressed the way he was treated in the last 7 days of his life. So many times people complain. They'll always call or write a letter to complain, and I felt it was my job and my pleasure to write a thank you note for making my father a mensch before he died. So I said to my husband, "Well, we were very pleased with Montefiore for my dad. Let's think about that." That was the end of the conversation, and about 2 weeks later, I walked in the house and my husband said to me, "By the way, your anniversary gift is on the kitchen table waiting to be signed at the X." I immediately figured he was divorcing me and I had to sign divorce papers. But no, much to my great pleasure and chagrin, I was so shocked to see that he took this upon himself after all, were the papers to become donors from Montefiore. I will tell you, it certainly lets you sleep well at night to know you've done something like this.
If you study Montefiore, you're going to find so many areas that could use the financial backing of people who will set up funds that will take care of shortfalls in many facets of this organization. I have a very strong feeling that management, as I have seen them over the years, does a wonderful job of allocation of funds for the various things that need allocating. And they have progressed in every facet of care for the elderly. And that brings to mind where do the needs go and who's going to fund them. And that's why we have to get people involved who can learn and get a feeling for what this organization needs. I think it's incumbent upon us to really reach in our hearts and our pockets to do something, because the government's going to do less and less for the elderly. And I think it's up to each and every one of us to really do something. It'll make you feel good, and you certainly will be helping the elderly of this community.
This was given me as a gift. This fund was a gift to me. And so I didn't initiate it. It was initiated by the advent of my 75th birthday, and I couldn't have been more thrilled or more overwhelmed with this just absolutely fantastic gesture.
Mom reads the newsletter on a regular basis, and she saw that there was a desire to do concerts at the Wiles. And it seemed like a fantastic idea.
It did.
And especially, I have to say, when we were invited to see one of the concerts at the Wiles, and it was absolutely wonderful. The young woman who does it just engages the entire group. And we were so impressed with the looks on everybody's faces, and we felt we had really done something good by doing that. And I think it's something we definitely want to do again.
Oh, absolutely. It made me feel verklempt. Overwhelmed, over the top, because it was such a magnanimous and generous gift.
And it's
thoughtful.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly, honey.
Because we were able to give the gift.
Yeah.
And then Mom is able to give with the gift.
Yeah.
And so it was a win-win, for everybody.
It was a win-win situation. Winner. Winning.
Right. Winning. Winning.
I love my job. There is no greater privilege than working with donors like those you have just met to help them and other generous community members make dreams come true. Unless and until you have personally experienced the power of philanthropy, you won't be able to appreciate why so many lovely people make charitable gifts as often and as thoughtfully as they do. It is really true that what you give comes back to you 10,000-fold, in often mysterious and wonderful ways, if only in the satisfaction of knowing that you gave someone less fortunate a little pleasure, stimulation, or comfort. There are over 300 working funds within the Montefiore Foundation, each one linked to a personal story, to a beloved family member, to a special relationship, to a meaningful moment in time. And each fund, no matter the size or the purpose, makes life better every day for those we touch. A foundation fund is one of those very rare investments which can always be counted on to provide a significant return. On behalf of the residents, their family members, my staff colleagues, and the volunteers of Montefiore and the Wiles, I want to thank these quiet heroes and heroines, our current and future donors and fund holders, for making our dreams come true. And I want to thank you.